Joining me now is Iltija Mufti, the daughter of the former J&K Chief Minister and PDP leader, Mehbooba Mufti. Appreciate your joining us, Iltija Mufti. I know this is a tough time for you and your family. Your mother's detention has been extended by another 3 months under the Public Safety Act. I just want to ask you, your mother is the only senior mainstream leader now who, in a sense, continues to be under detention a year later. Have you given up hope? Is there a sense of resignation that she's not going to come out now in a hurry?
I don't think if we can give up hope and be full of despair. I mean, Rajdeep, this is just not about Miss Mufti. There's so many people, thousands of people who continue to remain under illegal arbitrary detention in Jammu and Kashmir and outside Jammu and Kashmir. And let's not forget, Rajdeep, a year after the abrogation of Article 370, the larger debate is how much have people suffered? They've suffered devastating losses, whether it's emotional, whether it's financial, whether it's that sense of alienation, disempowerment that we feel. So I don't want to reduce the debate about my mother and when she'll be released. Obviously, I want her to be a free person. I think in a democracy, it's a cause of grave concern if a leader, if a political leader, or anybody else for that matter, an individual, has not been seen in public for the past 1 year. My mother has not been seen in public since 5th August 2019. And I think that's a matter of grave concern for the world's largest democracy like India.
You know, you're saying, of course, that you haven't, your mother hasn't been able to come out of detention for a year now. Now, in the first PSA dossier against Mehbooba Mufti, the J&K administration referred to the green color of the PDP flag, the resemblance of the election symbol with that of the Muslim United Front that had been formed in 1987, and her refusal to sign a bond that she would not talk about the scrapping of Article 370 as the reason for slapping PSA against her. So the government is saying, look, we are ready to try and consider releasing her, but these are our conditions. How do you respond?
It's laughable. I mean, first of all, you infringe upon a person's individual rights, their constitutional liberties, their sense of personal liberty, and then you're saying that you've done something illegal, you've done something arbitrary, and then you're telling the person that here are these conditions, and if you don't fulfill these conditions, we cannot release you, and it will be a conditional release. And for your information, Rajdeep, yes, you're absolutely right. They tried to get her to sign her a bond, but I'm proud of the fact that my mother threw this bond in their face, because that's where it truly belongs. This bond belongs in the dustbin.
You know, those are strong words. This bond belongs in a dustbin. But the fact is that according to the administration, the situation in J&K is still not fully conducive for a resumption of, dare I say, mainstream political activity.
I am confused because they say that there is peace here. They say people are happy. They say there's calm. Then the Solicitor General goes and he lies in the Supreme Court, the highest court of this country, and he says that we can't resume 3G because there is fear of terrorism, there is fear of cross-infiltration, militancy going up. So this government lies about everything, Rajdeep. How can we believe anything that they say at face value? They've lied, they fudge GDP facts, they even lie about pandemic COVID figures. So how do you really expect them to come up with the truth? They present alternate facts, alternate reality, WhatsApp forwards, fake news. This is their legacy. And this is what this government thrives on. This is what they derive their power from.
But a year later, the government also says that the police has been given a much freer hand, the CRPF has a freer hand. Therefore, a number of terrorist activities, number of terrorist incidents are actually coming down. They believe, give it time, the situation will come back to normal. And therefore, you know, the government deserves that time to get the situation fully under control. J&K is just not another region. It is a highly sensitive region, and that's why the government needs to do this step by step.
Rajdeep, I think they're just tying themselves up in knots. Like I said, what you're saying is full of contradictions. You're saying that the government has said that the police needs to be given a free hand. Oh, absolutely. They've given the police a full free hand. If you look at Jammu and Kashmir, it's been a police state for the past 1 year. The police has been harassing journalists. They just arrested a very young man. His name is Qadi Shibli. And his fault is that he prints the truth. He's been arrested by the cyber police in Srinagar. So this is what they've been up to. And of course, they'll be given a free hand. And the version that you're giving me sounds full of contradictions internationally at UN, on other forums. Whenever other countries ask them about what's going on in Kashmir, they say that this was done for the development. Everything there is fine. Then on the other hand, they say that we need time to stabilize the situation. I don't understand why this government keeps issuing contradictory statements. Maybe it's time that they come clean that this was done to disempower the people of Jammu and Kashmir.
But you know, you've got an Omar Abdullah. You've got an Omar Abdullah who's been released. You've got a Sajjad Lone that who's been released. Mehbooba Mufti, according to them, Iltija Mufti is someone who is likely to inflame passions, who is speaking a language, according to government officials, that's the language of Pakistan. She's seen and branded, therefore, in the eyes of a section of the state as anti-national.
Rajdeep, tell me, what is Sudha Bhardwaj's fault? Why has she been languishing in a jail for the past 2 years? She is a lawyer who studied at Harvard. What about Sanjeev Bhatt? What felony has he committed? What about that, there's an old gentleman, I think his name is Anand Telumbe. He's also an activist. So please don't give me this reason. The Prime Minister is going to go to Ayodhya on the 5th of August, and he's going to be accompanied by veteran BJP leaders who were known to play a role in the demolition of Babri Masjid, Rajdeep. Are you telling me that my mother deserves to be in jail because she wants to express dissent and they're averse to hearing the truth, but they are okay with veteran BJP leaders not being tried in court for having played an instrumental role in the demolition of a mosque?
So you're saying dissent is being criminalized by the government. Your mother, you're saying, is a dissenter. She's not speaking the language of Pakistan, but she's speaking the language of dissent. Let me ask you, though, it's interesting that you mentioned Ayodhya, because August 5th will be the first anniversary of Article 370 being effectively annulled, and also the Bhumi Pujan of the Ram Janmabhoomi. In a sense, therefore, the focus will be presumably, at least in large parts of the media, on what's happening in Ayodhya, and Kashmir will be in the backdrop.
Deliberate. Yeah, which is deliberate, you see.
You think it's deliberate?
This serves the timing of the Prime Minister inaugurating or laying the foundation of the Ram Mandir temple in Ayodhya. It has it serves, two purposes. First of all, it provides them with a cover-up to hide, the monumental failure that that they've seen, that the abrogation, the fallout of the abrogation of Article 370, they want to sweep that under the rug. Second of all, the BJP wants to tell its electorate that every year we are going to demonize Muslims, we are going to demonize minorities. We began by cleaving the only Muslim majority state in India, depriving them, taking their constitutional rights, taking their constitutionally promised semi-autonomous status. And every year, don't worry, we will keep punishing Muslims. So last year it was punishing the Muslims of Jammu and Kashmir. Hold on, just give me 1 minute. And this year it is going to be constructing, a temple on a land which earlier had the Babri Masjid, which is
the question though, Sana Mufti, is that
hang on, their larger messaging is that we are inept at handling the economy, so you please get used to it. You will not be in any position to buy underwear or toothpaste or even basic things, but as long as you keep voting for us, we'll keep punishing Muslims. This is the basic signaling.
There will be those who will say that you're speaking the language of continuous victimhood. There are those who will be listening to you today and say, look, Sana, Iltija Mufti says we are not a democracy, but here she is on a mainstream news channel speaking this language. No one is censoring you. The question therefore is, it's
not about censoring, Rajdeep. My mother has been detained. Or everybody in Jammu and Kashmir. It's just not about my mother being detained, by the way. Jammu and Kashmir is virtually an open-air prison right now.
But many believe that there is no great sympathy for the mainstream leaders. How do you respond to those who say there isn't any great sympathy for the Abdullahs or Muftis? How do you respond to those who say there's no great sympathy for the Abdullahs or Muftis?
Let me just complete. This is not about Abdullahs and Muftis. Last year, when I came to your show for the very first time and you spoke to me about her detention, I stated this then, that this is not about Muftis, it's not about Abdullahs. The BJP is deliberately pushing that narrative. They want to take focus away from the fact that what they've done here is patently illegal. People are very upset about it. There's a lot of anger, there's growing resentment, and clearly they just want to deflect the issue. I don't understand, what is this nonsense? Mufti Abdullah, Pakistan, Mufti Abdullah, Gandhi. Are you not allies with the Badals? Are you not allies with other political families? Is this our fiefdom? Every time she's won an election, hasn't she won it? Isn't this a democracy? What is this Mufti Abdullah garbage that they keep throwing at us?
Okay, well, it's very interesting that your mother. It's very interesting that your mother was a BJP. It's interesting that your mother was a BJP ally till only the other day, till a couple of years ago, till it went all horribly wrong. But I just want to ask you, therefore, in conclusion, what's the way forward? Do you see this? Do you see any light at the end of this dark tunnel for your family, and dare I say, in your instance, you believe for the Kashmir Valley?
Well, Rajdeep, we're pretty much under solid. There's so much troop deployment here, Rajdeep. There's unimaginable state institutionalized repression. So if this is their plan of repressing us, holding us down, then they might as well just get done with this whole facade and sham of a democracy, or whatever it is that they're saying. You push down domicile laws, you made sweeping changes to domicile rules in the middle of a pandemic, Rajdeep. This is something that was done in the middle of a pandemic. So they don't have good intentions to begin with.
Can I therefore ask you in conclusion on a personal note, do you meet your mother every day, and how is she keeping?
Well, we live in the same house, but obviously the house is a sub-jail. So, we're not allowed to really move out freely. Nobody can come in. She's not allowed to speak to people. I don't understand, Rajdeep. 370 has been debated everywhere. It's been debated in the UN. It's been debated in the US Senate, House of Representatives, Turkey, Pakistan, even in the Indian Parliament. Then why don't we as Kashmiris have the right to debate something that affects us the most? Why has it been criminalized for us? There's so much troop deployment here. These troops need to be in Ladakh. They could save Chinese troops from invading our land, but they send troops here to crush dissent. Are they going to start using troops to crush dissent now, Rajdeep?
There's dissent, and of course there's terrorist activity. There's dissent and there's terrorist activity. Dissent need not be criminalized, but there is also terror, so therefore you need a large security presence.
Well, there's been a spate in terrorist activities, Rajdeep, and we've had this discussion before where I told you that the fallout of the abrogation of Article 370, when you deliberately obliterate mainstream politics in a conflict state, what is going to happen is that young, impressionable men will automatically gravitate towards militancy because they don't have a middle ground. Why are you even surprised about this? We predicted that all of this was going to happen, whether it is demographic changes, disempowering Muslims, no development. Our economy has lost around 40,000 crores. Kids have lost an entire academic year. So for how long are we going to pretend that they actually mean well for Jammu and Kashmir? They don't.
When people are hearing you today, they'll say, well, maybe it's, Iltija Mufti, you're also skating you're skating on thin ice. Do you see yourself also being kept under detention? Are you allowed to move freely?
No, I'm not allowed to move freely, Rajdeep, and I've been trying to visit my grandfather's grave for the past 1 year, and they just don't give me permission to move around freely, and I'm under constant heavy surveillance. So they monitor everything that I do is monitored, and you can see the way they've humiliated Miss Mufti as well. I mean, she's been kept in detention under a lawless law since for the past year, she was detained. They slapped PSA on her. Her dossier, as you mentioned, was full of slander. There was a split that was orchestrated in her party. So they are punishing the people of Jammu and Kashmir, whether it's a Mehbooba Mufti, whether it's a journalist, Qadi, Qadi Shibli, everybody here is being punished, Rajdeep, just because they don't agree with their version.
Okay.
With what they want to hear.
Okay. Let's leave it there, Iltija Mufti. I've heard you. The people of this country have heard you, and all I can say is thank you very much for joining me, because here on the news today, we do not believe in criminalizing dissent. We believe that everyone must get an equal chance to be heard. Thank you very much for joining me here on the news today.